Hey everybody, this is Allison from Allylat Creations. How are you? Lots of downloads today. Lots of searching, digging, and wonderings. This is like the Starseed Lightworker Handbook of the Loved One. And because of the revamp, just to be on the safe side, I'm redoing episodes, but making them better. So if you haven't seen them, it's okay. I have to take some of them down and exchange them for these. Am I pissed? Not really. Not with these guys. Can never go wrong with Ra and Quo. Before I begin, please hit that like. It helps me, helps everybody else that needs to see this. Again, a lot of people are drawn spiritually to my page. Others find me through other means. Other people watch my favorite Jason. Whatever it is, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Subscribing helps you get this material, and it's not just this book, it's many books. And maybe you open up your paradigm and listen to something else and it sparks light bulbs and epiphanies and you never know. And share if you have it within you to do so. This is a heavy and a very loaded topic. A lot of it is spiritual exhaustion, Christianity, doomsday riffs, and harvest on planet Earth, which goes on into the Loved One, a lot of it. So I tried to do my best, but it's important that if people are not watching the Loved One videos, that they get it this way if you're watching the Wanderer's Handbook. Spiritual exhaustion. I think a lot of people who are self-aware and are self-conscious of their spirituality or religious self has experienced this. I've experienced a lot of this. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is that I feel right now, like in our paradigm going through life right now, a lot of people are being burnt out, spiritually exhausted. They're done. A lot is going on. So I feel like tackling what Quo has to say, and then we'll move on. Quo, we can at times feel weariness in a spiritual nature. This shows up in the experience of an incarnative life, and things in a person's paradigm seem difficult. The small stuff seems extreme or larger than what in reality it appears. And again, I'm putting my words on it. It's my insights. Yeah, there are a lot of triggers that spark people, and they can be all types of different things. But when you are always outputting and not filling your cup, or you're just being bombarded by everyday life, you kind of take the small little insignificant thing and make it a big eruption in your life. And this is not for everybody, but a lot of people do that, and it can be hormonal, you know, both male and female. Quo states it's a condition of vulnerability. The wariness we have sensitizes the web of perception that can alter information to our physical third dimensional mind and the consciousness. Small efforts can seem to become a larger level one. The sense of ourselves is disrupted and disturbed, and the level of comfort of our minds decrease. When you're looking for answers for whatever it is that you're looking for, we do feel our lives are disrupted, and we feel like everything is in upheaval because we just don't know. And I'm going through that right now for my own self. I'm not spiritually exhausted, but I'm like mentally and physically tired of waiting for catalysts and events to happen worldwide so that I can move forward with my mission. And not to say that my mission hasn't started, it has, but it's difficult when you're waiting around and you dive into all types of things. And sometimes you just, you know, I got to veg out, I got to put my sage on and sit in meditation. And sometimes, you know, I ask for answers and they don't come, and it's very frustrating. Inner surrender. Open oneself regularly and repeatedly by offering a thanks and praise in order for the desired outcome to be sent into the universe. Allow for the love and light to shine inside and out. So no matter what you're going through in life, whether it be a spiritual exhaustion, a mental exhaustion, whatever have you, we do manifest our reality. I know everything is very much easier said than done. I promise. I know, I'm here. I'm in it now. I'm going through hell and torture and suffering. I don't look physically like I am, but oh, I am. But each and every day I wake up with a smile on my face. I know that I am helping people. I'm doing my own research. I'm getting my own light bulbs, and I'm putting out positive love and light into my space each and every day. And it does help. Does it solve all my problems? No. But mentally, being cognizantly aware that I'm in a rut, I'm going through shit like everybody is, I put a means to put forward a positive outlook and a positive spin on everything. With logic. We all have logic. We're on third density. This is, you know, we have our logic and we have to use it. We can't be in a fantasy world expecting the lotto to hit us and we're going to get this big mansion and all this materialistic shit that we don't necessarily need. You know, just the comforts of eating once a day, like me, having the lights on, being in a shelter, being practical, not overly practical. Know any road is a good one as long as love light is lighting it up. Make sure your heart is open to receiving. This is where the power lies. So you have to receive it too. A lot of people give, and don't receive. I'm a giver. I am very humbled when I receive, but I rarely receive. And it shows in the past 6 months, the reception and the give and take. But I know people pray for me. I know people are doing their due diligence and hitting that like button. So that's still good energy. It's huge. But ask yourself, when you are going through a spiritual exhaustion or you're having a lot of trouble, how can you pour the light in your life? How can you light that road up that you're going down that's so dark and dim? What can you do? What makes you happy? What path do you want to take? Write it down. Everything has a balance. Everything has a pro and a con. If you're undecided on your job isn't doing you any good, you're stressed out, you're exhausted, it's not worth your time anymore, it's just something you're not resonating with, write a pro and con list and see where to go. Invest in time in yourself. Sometimes when we're exhausted, we don't get the answers right away because we're not opening to receiving them. So when we're in these kind of ruddy situations, open yourself up. Again, not easy to do. Not at all. But be receptive. I'm trying to shine a light on me putting out this information. This is something, again, I don't have graphics. I don't have opening 3D with music theme song to introduce me. I'm not streaming on a streaming service. All those things are great and lovely, and I would love to have them, but I'm bare bones. And sometimes bare bones is what makes it work. And, maybe down the road, I get into some abundance and I could start streaming and do lives and not make it look like a finagled fest, and I'm being personal because I want you guys to be taking a situation and understanding it. So remove any expectations from yourself on a conscious level, and subconscious allow to play and be lighthearted. And not gonna lie, my oracle cards, if you go and read, and view some of the oracle readings I do, this is exactly what it's saying. I have pulled a lot of cards that just tell you to play, to be silly, to laugh, to look at cute animal pictures, to catch if you have animals, to catch them doing silly shit and laugh. Like, be happy. You can find happiness in the smallest places, and it's a human emotion. You can find the light and the love within anything. You just have to search. And when you put your energy into searching for those things that make you happy, the paradigm shifts and things start to change. It takes time. Do what your heart sings. What does your heart want to do? If we don't take the risks, we don't see the rewards. And of course, there's trials and tribulations with anything in this dimension. That's why we're here. We're here to learn. We're gonna fail. We're gonna have setbacks. We're gonna have trials. But it's all worth it at the end of the day, because this helps your soul grow. So if you are spiritually exhausted and you're going through a lot right now, take a step back, take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. Reflect inside, what is causing this? How can you forgive it? How can you move on from it? How can you heal it? If you're going through, life changes, we're all going through them. How can you make your day better? Each day, take time to make yourself laugh, to be silly, to be lighthearted. Light that path that you have and soar and go with it. I saw the opportunity when books that I had were being mentioned on a lot of platforms, and people are like, well, you should read it. And then when you look at how big and dense a book is, I'm like, well, I don't have a job right now. Well, you know what? I'm going to be a service to others, and I'm going to read, and hopefully people listen if they're inclined to do so. And that's the path I'm illuminating right now for myself. Not just the readings that I do, it's the oracle cards. I love doing it. Spirit connects with me. And, you know, on a deeper level, some people really get a lot out of it and some people don't, because they're not reading deep into it. But do what your heart sings. And if anything, you know that you're helping someone out in the world. I know with any of my spiritual advice I've ever given to anybody, I always get a thank you, and that helped in some way, shape, or form. I have a lot of people that have traversed my life that thought I was batshit crazy. And then when I sat down with them and spoke to them on their level of understanding, they finally understood what my purpose was for them in their life. And usually it was to put them on a path to enlightenment, to understanding themselves, to opening up a paradigm that they didn't know they had. Breathe, people, breathe. Next on the list, and this is from the video, is Christianity. Why am I tackling this? I don't know why I was tackling it the first time. I have my suspicions why. Many of the books that I'm reading is spiritual in nature, not necessarily of the good book. And Quo, and I think it's Rob, maybe I have to look, gives really good explanation to a lot of this. I'm gonna put a disclaimer on this as well. It's not only Christianity, it's all religions. Though the most attacks that I receive is from the Christian community. I don't get attacked from any other religion. I get the most attacked from the Christian community. Odd. Always have, though. Always. Because spiritual people are seen as the evil devil. Quo's going to go into that a little bit. I've always believed in a creator. I take more of a Native American spiritual stance on a lot of things. I think everything has consciousness to an extent, because it is apparent in the law of one that each density, there is a level of consciousness in the rocks, in the trees, in the air. It's a microcosm and macrocosm of energy. And we're all energy. We all emote energy. We all are conductors of energy. It's what is making our body move right now. I never latched on to any one paradigm or religion. I like to read about religions, different types of religions and societies and myths and theology, because I find it very fascinating. And I know a lot of other people do too. I always said that I was the breaker of the mold that society set a very long time ago. That people looked at my outwardly appearance and made judgments, not ever talking to me or getting to know me to know truly what I am. And I'm trying in whatever way I can to break that mold. Always have. As in my college years to even my high school years, I was a super goth. Super, super gothic. I still am. But I always challenged everybody. And the people that were worthy of my time received it. And they're better for it. And that's not tooting my own horn. When you judge others and stereotype and put labels on things, you're not really unaware of what the divine creation is about. I see Ethan. My second co-host has just shown up. Maybe he'll make an on-screen appearance. We'll see. Yes, I have a tower of books and tarot cards. Which is not evil, by the way. It's the intention you put into it. So Christianity, quo, and I'm going to quote, quo. Each entity which calls itself Christian feels that it is a member of a great group. Nevertheless, each individual is doing no more or no less than seeking the face of the great mystery of the infinite creator, just as each non-church going entity does or does not do. He said it, not me. And it's true. Quo goes into how some follow like second density beings, just following the pack. That's what animals do in second density. They follow the pack. Jesus came to third density and knew eventually third density would come to a close. And he imparted the law of one, love, light, and redemption and forgiveness to everybody. He gave that to everybody. Not just one pack of people. He imparted that wisdom onto everybody. Because that's the Christ consciousness that's within all of us. A lot of people have a habit of really not understanding the words that Jesus spoke. That's why I read a lot of the books that I do, because it expresses different perceptions of what Jesus spoke. And that he was imparted the law of one. He was a fourth density being who was here to help us, just like other religions had their ascended masters. Buddha, Muhammad, just to name a few. They came to help raise the consciousness of everybody, not just their one tribe, but it's who in that area at the time took on the law of one, which is love, light, redemption, and forgiveness. Especially in this density. doesn't make appearances much. He's this very, very special kitty. Jesus recommended to his followers a communal life with basic commonalities in lifestyle. Those who gave and those who needed received. I've been talking about this in a lot of my videos. Quo goes into talking about how that's very Marxist and it's like, it feels like communism. In our paradigm, yes. But back when, no. If you had, you shared, you gave, you helped. For those who couldn't have, don't have. And those who don't have, do other things for the energy exchange. And that's very much how things should be in this world. Not everybody is a millionaire and not everybody will be a billionaire. Not everybody has to work as hard as others to get abundance. Well, some people have to work twice or triple the amount of time to just save up to have a day for themselves. If we all could come together and really receive this in our hearts and follow it as Jesus wanted everybody to do, the world would be a whole different paradigm. And I feel like this is on its way. And it's a big test if it does happen. Those of you who know what I'm talking about, it's a big test. A lot of people always want me to invest in crypto and into gold and silver, and not to say that, it's a great, safety net for a lot of people. I can't afford to do any of that. But I don't feel the need to do any of that because I'm not in the greed mindset. And not to say it's greed. You want to be able to take care of yourself, absolutely. But these 6 months, and now 7, has really imparted on me and look at other people to see the greed that runs within them. When you are in the lack and you make observations and you see what people do and how they play and how they preach to others about certain things, but yet they don't do what they say. They do the absolute opposite. So let's not fall into that trap either. Share. Make sure you are in abundance, but if there's somebody lacking, we'll help them out. That's what Jesus said. I'm going to quote again. We find that, as is true in any religion, as you call these philosophies, there is much of doctrine that is suppositioned, extrapolation, or a kind of fabrication that tends to hold all the elements observed within the Bible together in the minds of those entities who need each portion of scripture to fit within a neat arrangement as bricks within a wall. End quote. why don't follow the pack? Think for yourself. Why? The mystery lacks, since mystery is everywhere. And we're being asked to seek out for our own selves. And not to say that a book or a person or anything is, bad to listen or follow, but growing up in a very heavy, everybody goes to church on Sunday kind of deal, they did it because they were following the pack. They did it because it was socially acceptable and people looked good getting all dolled up and going to church for the sake of going, not to grasp what teachings and learnings were being delivered to them. People shy away from the path of seeking. Those who seek fervently are sometimes alienated. From traditional systems, other forms, non-dogmatic ways at looking at creation is given the one creator and each seeker's place within the third density creation. So just because I didn't read a Bible or read the Torah or the Quran doesn't make me any less knowledgeable about creation than anybody that has studied those books. Why? Because Creator placed me in my arrangement with the Creator to be here in a spiritual capacity, to understand the law of one in a spiritual capacity, not in a religious capacity. There is no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong religion. There's no right or wrong text. Take what resonates within you, because you are on your own journey to acknowledging infinity and intelligent infinity and creator. You have your own personal relationship because you're a fractal. It's all within. We are all one. We are all made up of the dust that came from this planet. And we're all a part of the play that Creator is here experiencing through us to gain more knowledge and wisdom. This is how Creator experiences third density, through us and our experiences, our challenges, everything. Now, you don't have to believe in that or resonate in that, but it makes sense to me, at least. Why would I have chosen a significantly difficult life with a lot of loss and a lot of pain if I wasn't going to get anything out of it? I got a lot out of it. And that's how Creator wanted his experience to go, through me. So he made that arrangement. Now ask yourself, what arrangement did you make with Creator? And how are you expressing yourself through him, her, it, whatever you want to consider intelligent infinity, which is Creator. We all play a role. We all have a purpose. We all chose to be here right now in the capacity that you're in. So you're very special. And I'll get into that in the next, when we go into the other topic. It's very important to understand there is no one right religion. There's no one right path. The two paths that you need to be concerned about for your ascension and your moving up is, are you a service to others or are you a service to yourself? Are you of the positive polarity or the negative polarity? And that is the only thing you need to be concerned about. And if you are of the negative polarity, that's okay too. You'll be harvested to a negative polarity planet, density, what have you. It doesn't make you right or wrong because you're still in service to Creator. You are still a part of Creator's design because we have to have a balance. There has to be a balance. That's third density, is balancing out your negative and your positive polarity, your shadow self to your light self. You have to balance both. That's why a lot of people, a lot of spiritual people are like, oh, you got to do your shadow work. Because that shadow work is the avenue to take in healing your trauma, your past trauma. Incarnations back when stuff might pop up and you're like, what the hell? I don't know what I'm feeling. Why am I feeling this way? This is nothing I've experienced in my life. Well, it's probably from the past in another incarnation that popped up in your DNA. Boop. Consciousness, your brain is a computer. And it popped up. So you have to heal it. It takes work. You can do it. Our brain is a quantum computer, FYI. And actually, quote states that, I didn't write it down, but does state it, that we have a computer for a brain. Doomsday Riffs. We're all going through this right now. As we are on the dawn of the Great Awakening threshold, the deeper in our memory, we all pass through Gaia's changes, Earth, Gaia, Terra. And the fear of annihilation strikes the chords. You are looking at yourself like looking at death and death of self. Gaia through Earth changes are purging as it is conscious. So Gaia is conscious. Gaia is also moving to fourth density. Gaia is already probably there already. It's Terra, where we are planted on, that needs to go, and like the string, you pluck a cord, it vibrates. And in that vibration, it's between the sub octave of 4, the sub octave of 4, and then 4. Where the string was plucked and we're vibrating up and down. So we're jumping in our own way, in our own ascension. We're jumping between the last stages of third and fourth. We're going back and forth. So is Earth, Gaia, Terra. And within these changes, we're seeing, and I mentioned this a lot, the volcanoes, the earthquakes, the floods, fires, the plagues, all this nonsense is going on, and it puts the people in a state of fear. You can't sit in that fear. The light and the dark both seek fourth density, whether it be positive or negative. A lot is part of the illusion of play, you make it. And in that play, do you make it a comedy or a tragedy? And then Quo really does say that a lot of what he knows can't be told because of the free will and you can't break the infringement. Though he offers, stay in the love and light vibration and don't feed into the fear. We are watching, and this is the first it's ever happening. We are going through the density change with Earth as we go through our own density change. So a lot is being purged. If you're going through ascension symptoms, you are purging. I'm going to tell you right now, if you haven't hit it yet, it sucks, but it's necessary. You purge everything out of your body that is no longer in resonance with you. And that includes people, places, and things. It's not an easy time right now, especially for starseeds, wanderers, and people of the like. We're going through a major tower moment in the tarot. The tower is happening now. And then we have the death card rolling on in saying, hey, you got a rebirth. Hey, changes are coming. Then the chariot comes in. Well, it's coming now. And then you have the world card come in and say, oh, good fortune and things are going to happen. But when? And then the sun. We are actually very lucky that we get to live in this time right now. We cannot live in the fear. We cannot harbor the fear. Because if we allow that to happen, we're going to be put in that paradigm of fear. They're going to suck the loose out of you. And then you're going to polarize more on the negative side. These changes are going to occur whether you like it or not. But make it a comedy. Make it lighthearted. See it for what it is, that the earth has to go through these changes just like we have to go through ours. And it's not pretty, but we all chose to be here. We all have the agreement with Creator, and however it is in the manner of which our ascension goes, however you perceive it and however it was meant to be, it's going to happen. No one's right or wrong. No one path is right or wrong. Just align with what your heart sings. If your heart is singing, yeah, there's some very fearful things out there. No one's going to lie about that. There are events and there are triggers and things that are going to be happening very soon that is going to trigger a hell storm. Rise above it. Yes, we're all going to be affected. Rise above it. When you see it as a movie playing out, there's less fear there because you know it's a movie, you know it's fake. Well, what happens if we're really in a movie and we're all playing out a role? What happens if you are in a service to others, you're doing the right thing? What character do you play? Ask yourself, what role in a movie that's real, going on right now, do you want to play? Make it the best possible character you can play. Make it the superhero. Make it the superhero. Because eventually we'll get there. Not Thanos. We don't have that going. But be practical. You know, when something scary happens, okay, take it in, but take the step back and look at the eagle's view. Look at it from above, not from here, from above. Ask yourself, okay, what is the lesson? Why is this happening? How am I going to react to it? And when you come from a place of love, and when you come from a place of everything's going to be okay, I'm going to make it through, and keep pushing those feelings there, you're going to be okay. But if you get caught up in the frantic energy that everybody's emoting, and I know a lot of people are empaths, and we do take in a hellstorm of people's emotions, you need to put your defenses up. You need to block that energy. You need to shield your energy. Simple technique I use is envisioning in my mind mirrors that wrap around me like an egg, and that everything bounces off and reflects back to its sender. You can wear plate mail, chain mail, whatever it is that you want to envision yourself to shield the energy that you have within you, the light that's within, shield it. That is another help. Lastly, the harvest. And the Law of One talks a lot about the harvest. But for those who are not watching the Law of One, that's fine. I'm going to explain it here again. So sorry if this is a repeat for some people, but I think it's very interesting. And now again, graduation, harvest, ascension, whatever have you. It's not going to be for everybody, and we have to accept that. There are different places that people will go and end up. Don't worry. What the Law of One and what the feeling that I'm getting, and because it was channeled in the 80s, and this book is a little more recent. I don't think they were aware that we were, obviously they do talk about this being an experiment. Like harvests and cycles are not experiments. But what we are going through is an experiment. They didn't touch on us not passing on in our physical vehicle to ascend, because usually that's how it happens in other cycles. So the cycle that happened 75,000 years ago, or whatever, 25,000 years, it's cycles. You have to live 3 cycles. When you're on the dawn of being graduated, that you learned all your lessons, when your physical vehicle dies, per this Law of One and the Wanderer's Handbook, you then get harvest. You're up for harvest ability. And a lot of things are weighed, and in the Urantia book and the Keys of Enoch, it talks about all these other entities that are upstairs, not extra or interdimensional beings. These are from the angelics. These are from heaven's realms, paradise, the fathers having many mansions, whatever have you. That these beings, ascended masters, spirit guides, what have you, are obviously weighing what and where we need to go. The issue, it's not even an issue, but the thing that I take in, they didn't take into consideration the fact that we are taking our physical bodies with us this time, and it's a big experiment. Never been done before. Never been done before. So buckle up, buttercups, because it's gonna be wide. But we chose to have this experience, and we're lucky, and I'll tell you at the end why. Quo, a large upswing in awakened souls is taking place. Congratulations, you are awakened. You're here. Yay. We chose to incarnate for this time now. Harvest season is here. For those who dance the dance of their density. It's a chance for those to graduate into the next density at the end of this incarnation. That's again where I don't think it's quite accurate. For some, yes. For many, yes. Many people will pass away. And if they're chosen to go, I'll walk you through the steps. I mentioned this before in other videos, but it's good to mention again. They will go where they need to go. And I've read this in multiple places, so what Quo's saying is said by many different entities. There is a line of entities waiting to get on planet Earth in third density to have this experience. There is a line, there is a waiting list of entities that want to come here from all walks of all universes. This is the circus show hellhole that they want to be in. Because they don't view it as we do, because they haven't had the veil of forgetting. Remember, if we come here, everything's wiped. So we walk through this experience to know what polarity we are, to gain and learn soul growth. If we already knew everything from the past, we wouldn't be able to move forward because we would be stuck in the past and trying to fix everything from that point. But when you have the veil of forgetting, you come here on a semi-clean slate. That's iffy. And then you go through life. And then you choose your path. Beautiful. Except for now. Why? Many of us have breached the veil of forgetting and are starting to remember our past lives. As a child, I breached it because I can recall not just one, but a few of my past lives, not all of them. I will find out hopefully tomorrow how many past lives I have. I will give you the scoop. I have high vibes up into fun time tomorrow. Can't wait. But many people who aren't aware are starting to have dreams and vivid dreams and starting to have flashes of past lives. And that is because now is the time to start remembering who we actually are on a bigger scale. It's not to relive the trauma of those past lives. It's not to recall bad things. It's to learn from what we get from what we are shown. And that's usually our unconscious, subconscious, and our higher selves starting to help plug in the information we need to understand where we were, how we've gotten to where we are now. And there's a long line of people waiting to get in our spots. Ra, quoting Ra, quote, quote, quote. The experience of each entity is unique in its perception of intelligent infinity, aka creator. This is a time with wisdom to aid others, and through that will one find intelligent infinity. End quote. We all started from creator, all of us. That's why I say we're all one and the same, because we all started from creator and then we fractalized and individualized into different souls for different experiences that creator wanted to have. That's the divine plan. But we all reach creator in our own way, in our own unique way. So we have to stop judging others by the path that they take. to get to know Creator. And that relationship is with themselves and Creator. Just like if you're with a husband or with a loved one, your bond to that person is different from other people's bonds. And it should never be breached or judged. Those who, finishing a cycle of experience, demonstrate grades of distortion of that understanding of thought and action will be separated by their own choice into the vibratory distortion most comfortable. So there are going to be entities for karmic reasons, like I've said in the past, that will reincarnate into a third density experience. It could be a positive, it could be a negative. It depends what polarity they took. But third density is combined. But it might not be on Earth. It might be in another distant galaxy. It might be in another outside of the wall. Wherever it is, that's what was chosen. You chose that. There's no problem with it, and there shouldn't be a problem with it. So there's no fear in that either. You're just not done with your lessons. There are many of us, like myself, who's probably lived a shit ton of lives. And I'm done. Done. Skis in their density. I've done my lessons. I'm still going through my lessons, but when I reach that peak, I'm done. Out skis. Please, fourth density, fifth, sixth, wherever I am. Which takes me to the light. So each one of us is unique, and we will be presented with a light. And that light will shine brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter until we can no longer take it, or will combust and self-destruct. But that won't happen because our spirit guides and ascended masters and everybody helping us won't allow that. They'll let us go to where we are comfortable. And that's the density we take a ride and step off the train, the choo-choo train. That's if we pass away in our physical vehicles. Other people will be taking our bodies with us to fourth density. It'll be planet Earth, but not on this plane. Because it's shifting density and dimension. So we'll be on fourth density, fourth dimension. And that's where a lot of us will be. The negative polarity people who will be graduated to fourth density negative will be taken to another plane of existence somewhere else. From what I've been taking out of everything that I read. So you are already destined for a destination. You might even surprise yourself where you head and where you land up, but don't let that be something that drives you and makes it your everyday concern. Don't, because it's going to happen regardless. So just live yourself and live your life by your unique self. Live every day by pouring love and light into your own self, your own body. Give yourself care and those around you. Be the love that you are. Be the unique human being that you are. Maybe you need to break out of the mold. Do it. There's no harm in being you. I am my authentic self, always have and always will be. I don't tick to anybody else's talk. I'm my own drummer. I am my own lone wolf. I go throughout this life in my unique way, And I don't, everybody and their standards, I don't care. I live how I want to live because this is what I chose. This is who I am. Accept me, don't accept me. Your loss, not mine. And more people need to have that mentality. And it's not to sneer anybody or to drive anybody away. It's just to say, this is who I am, and I'm not changing unless I make the changes myself that I want when I want it. You have to be selfish to an extent because you have to take care of yourself. And if you're marching to the drum of someone else, you're not really being yourself. You're being someone else. Do you? They also say this is an experiment, shifting the fourth. And that we just need to seek out the love and light. That's the law of one. And to forgive. And a lot of us will be challenged very much when the truth of a lot of things start coming to the surface and more people start realizing what really happened, what really took place on this world. And your local tinfoil hat wearing friend was right. And even if not, you have to forgive these people. They didn't know any better. You have to rise up into the Christ consciousness and forgive them. And don't look at them any differently than you would look at the person that knew it all along. They fell for the fear. They got trapped in that mindset. And it's okay. That's the path that they chose to take. That's the experience and catalyst they needed for their souls to wake up. See how it works now? Each one of us is given different things to wake us up and to give us learning and to give us lessons. Sometimes we are the ones given the lessons and sometimes we're the ones getting the challenges. It's a balance. Those of us who are awoken, who are aware, who have some kind of knowing that things are not correct and right in this world, we will be helping those who were asleep. And a lot of it is not of their own design. It was infringement from the Orion group. They chose for that to happen. We have to have compassion and we need to forgive. And we need to realize that each one of us is just a soul living in a skin. We are a soul living a human experience. And we need to remind ourselves that we can't get attached too much to things. And that's one of my biggest lessons I had to learn this lifetime. Everything was ripped away from me because I needed to learn not to. I have to band on myself. I need to learn how to be on my own. And this whole life, I've been on my own. And not to say I don't have people around me, but I'm really much alone. And that's the challenge that I needed to give myself. So just realize that you're on your own journey and what you bring forth into creation, they're going to have their own journey. And you are the teacher. You are the energy that they need to succeed. So there's no loss. And everybody's in a soul tribe and a soul family, and it extends out and out. Those people will see you again. It might not be this lifetime, but they'll be around. When you're energy, you're omnipotent. You're everywhere and anywhere all at once. So don't get afraid and don't be upset. They never leave you. They're always with you. I know my parents are always with me. Always. Well, they have fun upstairs. Don't get me wrong. They're traversing the universe. I know my mother's working with some multidimensional beings that she would probably be shitting her pants if she was still alive to know. But now she's up there. She's a free bird. She could fly. She could do whatever she likes. But they're still with you. So just take that in stride. So I know that's hard for a lot of people. A lot of death is occurring on this planet right now. And we have to look at a bigger picture, and we have to understand that we all have a plan and that we all arrange for these things to happen. So when you understand that and completely take that into your soul, you'll know everything will be okay. It's just gonna suck in the meantime. So with that, guys, I'm gonna leave it there. Sending each and every one of you love and light. I know these topics are not easy to tackle. They're difficult. And it takes time. So please be gentle with yourselves. Take what resonates. If it doesn't resonate with you, don't take it. But at least you have an expansion of your mind. It's something to think on, to gravel with. What the hell is she talking about? You know, it's okay. It really is. Not everybody will get it, but again, you chose to be here for this experience. Make the most out of it. Do unto others as you would like to have done unto yourself. And the world will be a better place. We're getting there. It's moving. The needle is moving. The light is winning. They already won. We're just playing it out. It's the death rolls right now. So don't live in fear. Live in love. Spread the love. Spread the light. Be one with yourself. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.